What's going on, guys? This is Mr. DeLORIAN here. Welcome back to a brand new video. And today what I want to do is break down the trailer we got for Chucky episode 6. So the trailer begins with Jake walking through what I do believe is Lexy Jr. or Devon's house with a knife, obviously now on the hunt for Chucky after episode 5 with that head rolling, ending. I'm not sure if that joke makes sense or anything, but obviously now they do know that Chucky's not dead, which obviously we all knew he was not going to die and anything, that he was transferred into a new body, which he ended up doing with Tommy by the end of episode 5 with that kind of, I guess you could say, twist. Kind of like how Chucky twisted the head off of the principal. I'm gonna stop now. But obviously our characters are now back on the hunt for Chucky and everything. We do see Jake walking around this house. Now in this trailer, we do see a lot of shots of Jake, Lexy, and Devon all walking throughout a house. They could be different houses or the similar houses and anything, but basically all on the same mission to hunt down and kill Chucky. And we do get to see Chucky staring down from upstairs and everything down at Jake and then running off. Obviously, he's probably gonna taunt them throughout this episode with them trying to hunt him down. Obviously, he's gonna taunt them a bunch. Throughout the next couple shots, we basically get Jake, Devon, and Lexy all talking at school, basically saying we have to find him and kill him, which is probably when they're gonna come up with their next plan to kill Chucky. Since obviously the first one of getting him inside a garbage can and then beating the shit out of him did not work, they now need a new and definitely better plan. We do get another shot of what I do believe is, I think, Jake walking throughout another house and everything with kind of bluish lighting around it at night with a baseball bat, and this is obviously when all of them are going and hunting Chucky in this kind of bluish house, which will probably be a main part of the episode. And it does look like Jake might be wearing the exact same shirt that he was wearing at the mayor meeting when obviously the principal's head got thrown out in the middle of the stage. So I do believe that they'll possibly try to go out and get him maybe after it, or maybe this could be a different shirt, maybe this is a different day, I can't quite remember. And in this trailer, while Jake, Lexy, and Devon are basically talking about their plan to finally kill Chucky once and for all, Devon does bring up the name, why don't we ask help from Andy Barclay, which obviously Andy from literally every Child's Play movie, if you have seen any of the movies and anything, or even know the Child's Play franchise, you know who he is. And it is officially confirmed that he'll be returning this episode, and that our kids or our characters and everything might be asking Andy for help, which was kind of a part of my season 2 predictions video, where basically Junior, at least now that we know all three of these characters will be getting help from Andy, Barclay, and Kyle to finally kill Chucky, which will be really cool. Although in this trailer it does not look like they're gonna go directly to him first. It looks like we'll get to see how Andy's been ever since Cult of Chucky, ever since he got locked up inside that asylum. Because with the first shot here with Andy, we do see him walking in. Now I do think this is Andy, this could be someone else, but I do think this is Andy walking up to a house with some files. And then actually we do get Andy sitting in a house looking over at something. Now this could be him looking at Chucky, because in the next few shots we do get him talking to or meeting Chucky for the first time in a long time, or I guess to say not in a very long time, since I think Nica did reveal in episode 5 that it's been at least, I think, 5 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever since the events of Cult of Chucky with the insane asylum and everything, and that whole mess went down. So this could be Andy sitting down having a meeting with someone about what, I'm not quite sure, maybe looking for Chucky and everything. We did get to see Nica on the floor all bloodied up, and as it was revealed in episode 5, Nica can actually find a way to activate in her head and everything to get the spell kind of undone for a little bit until it's triggered again, where basically Nica can come out of the spell and everything and be Nica, not just Chucky. She could actually be herself, and telling by her surprised face right here and her lying on the floor, this might be yet again another sequence where Nica is activated, or I guess you'd say it's kind of a weird phrase, activated, but this is probably Nica where it's actually Nica, and she's probably surprised after yet again another kill, telling about her bloodied up face. We do get to see Junior sitting in a car, and I'm not sure where this is, and it does look he is maybe alone or maybe with his father or mother. We do get to see something crash down on a car near him or next to him. He does look pretty surprised, and telling by the season 1 or series trailer for Chucky, it does look like Junior and Chucky will be kind of teaming up a little bit in big quotes, since we don't know what will be happening 100%. But we do get to see that Junior and Chucky do interact, so I do wonder if maybe this is a sequence where Chucky does some fucked up act and everything and finally meets Junior, because obviously this is not gonna be an accident where something falls from the fucking sky and crashes down on a car next to him. It's clearly gonna be something that's wrong. Next we do get a shot of what I do believe is maybe Lexy. I think it's Lexy, it could be Nica, but I do think it's Lexy sitting in that blue house and everything. Yet again, all of the kids and everything inside that house trying to look for Chucky. And the next shot is probably my favorite shot in the entire trailer, which is basically Chucky hugging or being hugged by this girl that has him now, and basically Andy standing up, and basically Chucky just says, "You made me do this," and then Andy pulls out a gun and I'm assuming fucking tries to shoot him or possibly shoots him, which is a very interesting thing, because obviously this could be the first meeting of Andy and Chucky. Well, it pretty much is the first meeting of Andy and Chucky ever since the Cult of Chucky incident, which is really cool, and it's a really funny scene how Andy just just pulls out a fucking gun on like a little girl and everything to shoot Chucky, and it's just so funny. But I guess like, you know, he's just that desperate to kill Chucky. We do also get to see two parents as someone runs to them. Now this could be the girl that like, you know, Andy pulled the gun and shot Chucky, or maybe she ran to him as soon as like, you know, she realized the gun. Although I'm not sure, since I do think the girl is wearing a different outfit than this person that runs to these two people, so I'm not 100% sure if these are her parents or maybe this is a different situation. But it is like, you know, understandable that like, you know, the parents would say come to us like as soon as Andy pulls out a gun, possibly fucking shoots. We also get a car that's like, you know, quickly backs out of a driveway. Now I'm not 100% sure whose car this is 100%. This could be like, you know, Kyle and Andy's, maybe like, you know, like Andy and Kyle and anything quickly pulling out of the driveway of the person's house that like, you know, he just shot a fucking gun at a kid to like, you know, shoot at a doll. So this could be that situation, which would be really funny and just adds to the comedy of that entire like, you know, sequence. Or this could be Nica and Tiffany possibly leaving the scene of a crime, or this could be, actually now I think I don't know many other people. Actually, after looking at the trailer a second time, I can confirm that I do think this is Andy's car, since it's the one that he was getting out of when he first was walking into the house with the files. And obviously this is most likely him and possibly Kyle too, after skirting out of the driveway and everything, after shooting at Chucky and possibly the child too, trying to make a really quick getaway, because obviously that is some insane shit that they did. We next get a scene of Chucky inside what I do believe is maybe a kid's room, so this could be inside that blue house where they're basically hunting, like all the kids are hunting down Chucky, or this could be him in Junior's room, although more so leaning towards like, you know, in the blue house that like, you know, all the kids are looking for Chucky, and this is where like, you know, not exactly a final standoff, but it's possibly just like, you know, a fight scene between them all where they try to kill him but he gets away. And what's very weird about this trailer, and probably the weirdest thing I've seen in any Chucky trailers so far, well, I'm not 100% sure if that's true, but basically we get to see a flashback to Child's Play 2 where Kyle is basically being like obviously taken hostage by Chucky, and this is that whole situation where obviously like, you know, Kyle finds out that Chucky's alive, and then Chucky obviously wants her to drive like, you know, Chucky to Andy and everything inside the child, like, you know, the children's adoption home, which is a very interesting thing. And obviously this confirms that obviously Kyle will be making a return this episode, since I'm assuming this will be a flashback where maybe Andy and Kyle are talking and everything, and then we get to see this flashback, which is just really cool. Maybe it's also a scene where maybe Chucky's like, you know, meeting up with Kyle and she has like a series of flashbacks, and this is one of those flashbacks. We also see a scene where Tiffany is screaming in like absolute fear, so I do wonder what could cause Tiffany to like, you know, scream, because so far from episode 1 she's been seeming like a pretty calm person or anything, like obviously murder doesn't affect her in like the slightest, so I do wonder what like, you know, makes her so like, you know, eager to scream and be like, you know, worried. Maybe it's Nica coming to life and then getting really like, you know, angry at her, or maybe it's a dead corpse that she didn't expect entirely and anything. Maybe it's like, you know, maybe it's a Chucky doll that's killed by Andy and maybe Andy delivers it to her. Or another theory is that this could be Tiffany, or more so Jennifer Tilly, kind of breaking out of the Tiffany spell just like Nica did too, which would be a very interesting aspect and everything, to have like, you know, Tiffany's spirit back inside only Tiffany, like, you know, the bride doll, then have Jennifer Tilly, I guess, like, you know, free from like, you know, Tiffany's spell, and kind of like Nica and everything, and how she broke from the spell very quickly. We'd also get to see a scene of Lexy and Junior sitting in what I'm assuming is their science or like, you know, geology or science class, and Lexy has a pretty surprised face, so I do wonder if this is maybe a scene where Chucky does something fucked up again inside the classroom. We also do get to find out that we will get speaking some more like, you know, Charles Lee Ray and Tiffany and they're kind of like, you know, prime flashbacks, kind of like we did in episode 5. We'll get to see like, you know, I guess you say younger Charles Lee Ray and younger Tiffany and everything, or more, yeah, younger Tiffany, basically like, you know, being their murderous killing selves, I guess. And what's very weird is we do get to see Nica basically with tape on her mouth inside of the trunk of a car. Now, I'm assuming this is maybe Tiffany after she figures out the whole thing of like, you know, Nica can like, you know, be Nica again and everything, and it's no longer Chucky, or like, you know, maybe she'll try to snap Nica out of it, or maybe, just maybe this is Kyle and like, you know, Andy kidnapping Nica, and like, you know, this is when Nica's like, you know, in her full senses, and this is her, and maybe like, you know, Nica will give them some information. Maybe that's stretching a little bit too much, although we do get to see Nica in the back of what does look like a red kind of like, you know, car. And also in the series trailer we get to see Tiffany opening up like, you know, the trunk of a red car and everything. She basically like, you know, looks at it and smiles and everything, so I do wonder if this is the same red car, and this is like, you know, Tiffany like, you know, opening up the trunk to see like, you know, Nica and everything who's all like, you know, tied up and everything in the back of the car. And then that's when like, you know, Tiffany has the meeting with the realtor, and they're like, this is our new home and everything, we're gonna make this place our new home, and like, you know, all of that. And that's when Nica and like, you know, Tiffany move in. And as we get to see in the final shot of the trailer, which is basically Chucky running out of what I do believe is Devon yet again inside this kind of like, you know, bluish house, which I know it's not actually a painted blue house, but it kind of has like this blue color tone to it with obviously like the flashlights. So I do believe this will be all the kids kind of like, you know, cursing Chucky and kind of like, you know, fight. Obviously not the death of Chucky, but like, you know, be kind of like, you know, a little bit fight scene, I guess. One last thing I want to talk about before I did end off this video or anything is the fact that there are only 3 episodes left, like, you know, titled in this trailer. So that makes this only an 8 episode, like, you know, season, which is very interesting. And by near the end of this, like, you know, season and everything, we'll get to detailed and everything if we will be getting a season 2, which I really do hope we get that. More than I think about it, I do hope we get that, only if they can really supply enough good story for season 2. So that was the trailer for Chucky episode 6. This trailer was actually really cool since it featured the return of, like, you know, possibly Kyle and definitely the return of Andy. And obviously our, like, you know, child, like, you know, cast and everything, our characters, like, you know, Jake, Devon, and Lexy all going for, like, you know, towards Andy and Kyle for help to kill Chucky. And a ton of funny scenes between, like, you know, Kyle and Andy, or more of so Andy with, like, you know, shooting a fucking doll and everything right in front of a child and possibly her parents. And obviously possibly Junior maybe teaming up with Chucky. Obviously, like I said, that car, like, you know, whole situation where something falls on top of a car obviously is definitely not an accident. It was very interesting, like I said, seeing that Child's Play 2 flashback and everything of Kyle and, like, you know, Chucky and, like, you know, Chucky taking her hostage, which, like I said, I do highly believe will be, like, you know, a series of flashbacks, maybe of Chucky seeing Kyle, or maybe Kyle recounting some, like, you know, things that have happened in the past. And also, I do wonder if there's gonna be multiple Chuckies in this episode. Like, obviously we have Nica's Chucky and everything, where, like, you know, Nica's possessed by Charles or Chucky, but also we do get to see Andy pull a gun out on, like, you know, a Chucky doll and everything. Obviously, if Andy shoots that doll, and obviously it'll fuck up that doll and everything, and then what's the doll that's, like, you know, attacking Jake, Devon, and Lexy inside that one house? So I do believe we'll get to see, like, you know, more than one Chucky in this episode, possibly, unless, like, you know, Andy tries to shoot at the doll and then that doll escapes and everything, and that's when we maybe like maybe we'll get a, like, you know, a kind of very surprise cliffhanger ending of, like, you know, inside this house and everything, where basically, like, you know, Chucky, Andy, Kyle, Lexy, Devon, and Jake all meet in this one house, which would be a really, really cool ending to the episode. And last but not least, definitely seeing, like, you know, more of, like, you know, Nica being, like, you know, kind of unpossessed and everything, and being her normal self is really cool, and possibly making contact with Andy, Kyle, and everything, and trying to give them information. But that was a really cool trailer in my opinion. I hope you guys did enjoy my breakdown. Make sure to comment down below if I did miss anything, or if I did get anything wrong. And also make sure to comment down below your theories for episode 6. What do you guys think is gonna happen? Because I am doing a video series for, like, you know, every single episode of Chucky before each episode. Well, I'm basically gonna, like, you know, read off your guys' theories and have my own theories and everything, and basically have it being a community fan theory video where we basically, like, you know, read off all of our theories before the episode. So make sure to comment your theories down below. What do you guys think is gonna happen in episode 6? Because there are tons and tons of things that, like, you know, I'm very excited for. So make sure to comment down below your theories and what you're most excited to see, and if I did miss anything in this trailer. And yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos on Chucky and everything, kind of the Child's Play franchise universe, more like, you know, theories, interviews, and reviews and stuff like that, and just breakdown videos like this. And yeah, see you guys later, my amigos, and peace out.